I was sitting in my car in front of the Lake Street Armory, full of nerves. I had joined the Lincoln and Welland Regiment Band, not because I was interested in the Canadian military or marching, but because I played the trombone for years. I was new to the area, and I needed somewhere to play. At the beginning of that first practice, I heard of plans to head to the Netherlands in a few years, something about an anniversary of a liberation. Again, I was just here to play my trombone, but a trip to Europe sounded good. As parades and practices went by, I began to love the band. The people I met became close friends. Marching alongside combat veterans was humbling, and I loved how much time we spent out in the community. Our band was highly respected locally and globally. We were given the honor of playing for Her Royal Highness, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, on her official trip to Canada in 2023. At one Tuesday evening practice, our band president had an announcement to make. The Lincoln and Welland Regiment Band was ordered to cease operations and vacate from our home at the Lake Street Armories, where the band had practiced weekly since the early 1800s. We were being targeted in a new official army order, and the regiment had chosen not to support us. It was devastating to watch my now close friends, who served our country, be ordered out of the regiment where they had once put their lives on the line. Thankfully, we were well supported by the community, and we were given a new home by the Polish Legion. But we were stripped of our crests that the band had worn for hundreds of years, and we were forced to change our name. As we geared up for our international trip to Bergen op Zoom in the Netherlands, fears loomed. Would we still be able to go? Would we march in the Liberation Day parade with the regiment? 6 months later, we arrived in Bergen op Zoom. We made it. Driving to the hotel, the streets were lined with Canadian flags. 80 years ago, the Lincoln and Welland Regiment had bravely fought against Nazi forces, liberating the city from a years-long occupation. Days into our trip, we marched in the Liberation Day parade. Thousands of Dutch locals crowded the streets, waving Canadian flags, many of them with tears in their eyes. In that moment, our band was more than just a group of volunteers who played music together. We upheld a historic image of hope and freedom on an international stage, and our rendition of the Lincolnshire Poacher honored the countless 20-somethings who lost their lives in the name of freedom in a country most of them had never been to before. Some of the people listening to us play were children during the Nazi occupation. One man told a story of being 6 years old and sitting on his family's front stoop as he watched Nazis and Canadians battling on the street right in front of him. He tearfully gave me a Dutch flag and wrapped his hand around mine. Sitting on the plane ride back to Canada, sure, I had fun stories of my first time in Europe, but bigger than that was a completely new perspective, emphasizing the importance of history. As we toured through Canadian war cemeteries throughout the Netherlands, I had come face to face with many men my age who gave the ultimate sacrifice and never came home. I reflected on a veteran band member who put his arm around me as I stood in the cemetery sobbing, a gesture of unspoken understanding. We cannot truly understand the privilege of freedom until we go without it. We cannot better our tomorrow without understanding and remembering our yesterday. I came to the band to play my trombone. I stay in the band for something so much bigger than the music and bigger than myself: preserving and promoting history.